What's up, YouTube? This is Joe from Zephyr Wargames. I have with me, though...
Donald?
There we go! We
Yay.
have Donald here, also known as the Shy Pianist.
The shark
And
here.
we are going to give you our ideas, like, well, our talk about the new archetype that has come out, and that is Infinite Stratos.
Infinite Stratos, guys.
Or as what they would like to call it in Konami, the Brandish Maidens. But me and Donald just been chatting about it all today, and this is just giving us flashbacks of the anime Infinite Stratos. So that's what we're going to be calling it.
No, it's kind of like it's based on the mecha series, except the mech doesn't encompass the humans properly. And totally, in a sense, so that you're looking at a giant robot. Instead, you're looking at humans who have been equipped with robotic parts as armor, and they're able to like fly around and do stuff.
And they can kind of like summon them out of nowhere at sometimes as well, especially the weapons, from what I remember. But with that, let's go through each cards, and we're going to explain what they do. Literally read them off, and. I've assumed, Donald, you've got it up there as well. You might be scrolling down.
I've got it up on, yes, credits to Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization, or YGO.
As always, they are the best.
Always, yeah.
So we're going to be going through, we'll probably go like one card, I do one card, Donald does one card, just so it's nice, easy for us both. And you can get us, both in this video. So... Starting off, we have the only monster in the main deck, which is Brandish Maiden Ray. She is a Dark Warrior effect, level 4, 15/15 on both sides. You can only use her card's name first and second effects once per turn. So her first effect is a quick effect. You contribute this card to push someone Brandish Maiden from your extra deck to an extra monster zone. Her second effect is while this card is in your graveyard, if a face-up Brandish Maiden Link monster you control leaves the field by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card. So unfortunately she doesn't get it off her tribute, so Kaijus are still winning in this one.
Yeah.
But overall this card's just really nice. It's just, a nice simple effect, kind of like she kind of has like a, what is it, Zodiac kind of like summoning mechanic, where it's just one goes into one.
Yeah, one off into the extra deck monster. Yeah.
But overall, she's just really nice. Dark Warrior, easily Rota.
Yes, Rota.
I don't actually think we'll be playing Rota in this deck once we get into the spells. I'm not entirely sure.
I would probably want to still run it, because there is no means to actually search except for their one spell.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But yeah, I think we should probably talk about stuff that you can tech in after reading off all the cards, essentially.
It is very true.
Gives people. So the next card we have is Brandish Maiden Shizuku. It's a water machine, Link 1 monster with 1,500 attack. Now, funnily enough, this has a top right arrow for the first, I guess, Link monsters.
Yeah, she has the first ones that go diagonally upwards, so that's going to be very interesting.
So the summoning requirement is 1 Brandish Maiden, except a water monster. You can only special summon 1 Brandish Maiden Shizuku once per turn. First effect, monsters your opponent controls loses 100 attack and defense for each spell card in your graveyard. And the second effect, once per turn during the end phase, if this card was special summoned during this turn, you can add 1 Brandish spell card from your deck to your hand that does not share the same name with a card in your graveyard.
So this is going to be a very forward-thinking deck.
Yeah. Some people might argue with this a bit slow because it's during end phase, but I think this is just so that we don't break the archetype.
Yes. Completely agreed there. So unfortunately, as Donald said, it is a shame it is at the end phase, but I'm pretty sure once you start getting the world going, getting everything smoothly, the end phase is not going to matter. I think it's just a nice little give it something to you when it turns over. So the other link that we have, which is the one on the cover, which is Brandish Maiden Kagari, I think that's how you pronounce it. She is a fire machine link effect with also 1500 attack. She points diagonally left.
Uh,
And she takes one Brandish Maiden monster except the fire one. And you can only special summon Brandish Kukari once per turn. Its first effect is if this card is special summoned, you can target one Brandish spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. And she also gets 100 attack for each spell card in your graveyard. So she is an instant spell grabber on summon. But it's from the graveyard, so you can do some nice little replenishing there. But she is obviously the heavy hitter, while the other one is kind of like your control in terms of the attack points.
Okay, next onto our spells. We got Brandish Skill Afterburner as normal spell card. If there are no monsters in your main monster zone, which seems to be a trait with all the spells.
Yeah, you're going to be hearing that a lot. People with this kind of archetype.
So you target one face-up monster on the field, destroy it. Then, if there are 3 or more spell cards in your graveyard, you can destroy one spell or trap on the field. So just generic good spot remover there. So next one,
Next
Joe?
one we have the Brandish Startup Engage, which I really like the names of these cards. I think they're really cool. Its only effect is if there is no monster in your main monster zone, you can add one Brandish card from your deck to your hand except itself. Then, if there are 3 or more spell cards in your graveyard, you can draw a card. So, really good drawing and searching support there. I think this is probably one of the best rotors I've seen in any archetype, nearly. just from reading it.
Okay, onto some quick play spells here. We have Brandish Mecha Sharp Cannon. Quick play.
These names, I love them.
It's really nice, yeah. Once again, if you have no monsters in your main monster zone, target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if there are 3 or more spell cards in your graveyard, you can special summon it to your side of the field instead of banishing it, but it cannot attack.
It's just like
just
winning. It's just winning there. And the next one is kind of similar. Brandish Mecha Widow Anchor. Also quick play. If there is no monsters in your main monster zones, you can target an effect monster in the field and negate its effects until the end of this turn. Then, if there are 3 or more spell cards in your graveyard, you can take control of it until the end phase. So, you know, if you kind of want to go for some massive damage with a direct attack, you can probably use this to put it off. But you could also just do some extra link summonings if your build is more towards that.
Okay, our next spell, we have Brandish Mecha Hornet Bit. Quick play as well. I think this, looking at the list, there's the third quick play revealed so far. If there are no monsters in your main monster zone, special summon one Brandish Maiden token. It's a Warrior Dark level 1 token with 0 attack and 0 defense in defense position. It cannot be tributed, and once again, if there are 3 or more spell cards in your graveyard, that token's attack and defense each become 1,500.
So this is like your other way. If you haven't got access to the Maiden, you can summon the links
by the token,
off these tokens. So the 15-15 is a bit an odd kind of like addition, but oh well, because you're literally just going to be linking this away straight away into the links. But hey, it's just a nice little thing, a bonus. Next we have the Brandish Skill Jamming Wave. Normal spell. If there is no monster in your main monster zone, you can target one set spell or trap card in the field to destroy it. Then if there are 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can destroy a monster in the field. This is kind of like the reverse of the one that we went through before. But the only problem I can see is that it has to be set. So if there's kind of like something in your way, kind of like an anti-spell fragrance, you're not going to be able to get over it with this card. But which I can tell anti-spell is going to be sided in heavily against this deck. But overall, it's still a nice build with back row removal.
Yeah. So next card, our field spell for the deck is Brandish Airspace. Area 0. Yeah, every archetype is going to need a field spell now. So the fact you can only use this card's names 1 and second effect. Well, first and second effect once per turn each. First effect, you can target one other card you control. That's cost. excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can add 1 excavated brandish card to your hand. Shuffle the other cards into your deck, and if a brandish card or cards was excavated, send that target on to the graveyard. So, and the second effect, if this card is sent from the field zone, love the use of field zone now, to the graveyard. By a card effect, you can special summon 1 Brandish Maiden monster from your deck. So it's a good start off because there are other cards that can combo with it. Usually, looking at the ones you can target spells or traps. I think it's the Afterburner. Actually, no. Yeah, Afterburner. You can destroy one opponent's monster, then destroy your field spell to then special summon and go from there.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I'm only confused with the wording of the first effect when I first read it, and I'm still a slight bit confused. Just because you add an excavator, so you add one, and then if you've excavated a brandish, you send it. So is does that imply to the other 2, or to the one you actually added?
So basically, you target one other card you control. You excavate 3, and if a brandish card was excavated, the one you targeted at the beginning is sent to the graveyard.
Ah, that's what it is. That's what.
So it's kind of like if you do excavate, you send your target. If you don't, you don't. So it's kind of like
that's a very interesting wording there
for the card.
Yeah.
I first initially thought it as one other card on the field because that would have been broken. Like target one opponent's card and then just excavate 3, and then
winning all the way.
but it's interesting. Because
I guess if you got a troubling monster in your main monster zone, you can just get rid of that.
Yeah, something like that.
So one thing I can see that's being like sided against is Ojama Trio kind of things like that literally give you tokens.
Because you need to have your main monster zone free.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a way to help get rid of it. Next, we have the Brandish Mechanism multi-roll. A continuous spell with the first and I think only continuous spell. Once per turn, you can target one other card you control, send that target to the graveyard. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to your spell card's activations until the end of this turn. Busted.
I know.
Mini cold wave in a way. It's just really, really good. Its second effect is so once per turn during the end phase, you can set a number of Brandish spell cards with different names from your graveyard to your field up to the number of Brandish spell cards you activated during this turn while this card was face up on the field, but banish them if they leave the field. But who cares? You're just going to literally fill your whole board again. It's just this card, I think, this is going to be the reason I think a lot of people might play this deck.
Like initially, we can really see that you use this card to combo with the field spell. Send your field spell to the graveyard. Your opponent can't activate. Then field spell activates to special summon, and you just go off from there.
It's just gonna be great. But we have one more, which is the which was revealed kind of like a different post to the others, which is the Brandish Mecha Eagle Booster, which is another quick play spell. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target one face-up monster in the field. Until the end of this turn, that target is unaffected by card effects except its own. Also, if there are 3 or more spell cards in your graveyard, it cannot be destroyed by battle until the end of this turn. Let's give them immunity! Yes. this deck. So, now that we've gone through all the cards,
let's talk about
what can
tech,
we say?
I guess. Yeah, definitely. So, as we mentioned with the main monster, Rota is probably your sort of extra search for the main monster. Otherwise, you're going to have to rely on Startup Engage to then search the main monster. There is one tech.
First, I was thinking of MX Saber Invoker, but at the same time, it's not going to help because then your extra monster zone is already filled.
Yeah.
So you can't then really link into it. So that's a bit of a shame.
There is one thing I would like to mention is that people would start considering running the toon tables of contents.
Oh yes, that is actually a good call there.
like you just go one card toon table contents. You already get you from that one card. You get 3 cards in your graveyard, and it will give you the full effects for all your spell cards. Well, the quick play ones and the normal spell cards.
And then Toon World can then combo with the multi-roll,
Yeah, multi-roll.
because then you can just target that.
Yeah.
So that's also good. So yes, if you are interested in this deck, guys, pick up your Toon Table engine.
Yeah, I was actually
It is in general a good engine, though. To be fair, it's not just for this. If your deck does need deck thinning and likes to use spells to do it, Toon Table Contents is a nice little engine for you to use. I don't even think Allure of Darkness is good in this deck, because there's only one monster you're going to be playing.
At a given point of time, the only monsters I can think of are cards like Wind Up Rabbit and the other the different dimension monster that can banish any monster.
Oh yes, things
until
like
next time I phase.
yeah.
This is because as you can probably notice from all the spells, you must control no monsters in your main monster zone. So a good call would be using monsters like that can just banish at any given point of time, so that you can then trigger.
Yeah.
And one of the techs I was looking at was using Imperial Iron Wall in combination with multi-roll, so you can set all your spells and then flip up the Imperial Iron Wall, activate them, but they don't get banished, so you can reuse it again and again.
That's cheeky. That's an interesting tech there. Yeah, I quite like that.
But the only drawback is that you then have to sort of thin out your monsters that banish themselves, because you're kind of looking at a one or the other. Either you go with the spells, reuse them and then get banished, or you use monsters that can banish themselves and come back, so you get some protection.
Yeah.
Either way, definitely, this is probably something we best have a look at. But then again, the multi-roll can then send your Imperial Iron Wall if it gets in the way. So
it's all good there. Card of Demise is also a nice little quick call out there before we wrap this up. But Card of Demise is also getting reprinted in the Kyber collection with hand traps as well, which are also a nice little call for this deck, because you're not gonna be summoning them, so they can just sit nicely in your hands with things like your Effect Veilers and your Ghost Ogres. You can just simply use them to swap your opponent until you get to your Maiden, and then you can start doing all your link plays and all your spell shenanigans from there.
Alright. So what are your initial thoughts on the set?
I love it.
I love it too.
I love this archetype. I think it's really interesting. It's kind of like a similar film to like the Invoked, where it's only got one main monster and then everything else is spells, back row, and your extra deck. I do quite like that, and the theme, as we all said at the very beginning, Infinite Stratos, one of my favourite animes. And
Charlotte best
girl. Charlotte is best. And this is
then we're going to start white for white.
This is a really good call.
I would like to say that we're probably, hopefully, I'm probably expecting like other attribute extra deck monsters, considering by this theme. And I really do hope they expand on the main monsters, Brandish Maidens, which, may or may not get their ideas from the main girls of Infinite Stratos. So here we go.
Who knows? Who knows? But yes, at the very least, I would like some more links. I'm thinking an Earth and a Wind might be next, and then a Light and Dark may or may not come a lot later. But let's wrap this up, guys. I hope you all enjoy this kind of like duet video. I think our first online one, covering this really interesting archetype. And if you have any thoughts on cards and what you like from this archetype, or any text that you would like, post them down in the comments below, and we'll love to see them, as we all like to do. And as always, guys, keep liking, subscribing, and sharing the videos as you all do. We all love you for doing it. And
as always, guys, happy dueling!
Also, YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left-hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings, and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round. So don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always, guys, happy dueling.